Mahabharata, Episode 3, Part 2, The Birth of the Pandavas. The Mahabharata is the story of destiny walking among men, and destiny often enters the world not in silence, but in cries of birth. In the mountains of the north, far from the halls of Hastinapura, Pandu lived in exile. The pale king, cursed by a dying sage, could not touch his wives without death. His body was alive, but his lineage was sealed. Yet through Kunti hope returned, for she carried within her a mantra, a boon from the sage Devasa, a secret that could summon the gods themselves. It was this boon that would bring forth the 5 Pandavas, sons of heaven, heroes of earth. Yudhishthira, son of Dharma. Pandu turned to Kunti. "Call upon the gods," he said, "for the blood of Bharata must not end with me." With steady heart Kunti spoke the mantra, her voice carrying into the heavens. The god who answered was Dharma, the very embodiment of righteousness. From their union came a son, calm, steady, born with eyes that seemed to know truth itself. He was named Yudhishthira. As a child, he never lied, never wavered, and from his first breath he carried the weight of Dharma upon his shoulders. The hermits of the forest whispered, "This child will be king, a king of justice, a king who will not bend, even if the earth itself breaks." The first Pandava had come, Bhima, son of the wind. But Pandu longed for strength, for a son who could defend his brothers and strike terror in enemies. So Kunti once again called upon the mantra. This time, the god who answered was Vayu, the god of wind, swift, powerful, restless. From their union came Bhima. On the day of his birth, the very earth trembled. As the newborn cried, he rolled from his mother's arms onto a stone, and shattered the rock beneath him. The sages gasped, "This boy has the strength of 10,000 elephants." As he grew, Bhima's appetite matched his power. He devoured food by the basket, he played by wrestling trees, he carried brothers on his shoulders as though they were feathers. The second Pandava had come, Bhima, the storm of the family. Arjuna, son of Indra, now Pandu, yearned for greatness in arms, for a son who could master weapons, a hero who would stand unmatched in war. Once again Kunti spoke the mantra. This time the sky thundered, and Indra, the king of the gods, descended. From their union was born Arjuna. At his birth, a radiant glow filled the hermitage. The gods themselves rejoiced, for Indra's son was destined to be the greatest archer of his age. As a child, he played with bow and arrow as though born with them in hand. His aim never failed, his focus never wavered. The sages said, "He will one day rival the very gods in skill. He will be the protector of Dharma on the battlefield." The third Pandava had come, Arjuna, favored of destiny. Nakula and Sahadeva, sons of the Ashvins, but Pandu had 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. And though Kunti had borne 3 sons, Madri had none. Her heart grew heavy. She longed for a child of her own. Seeing her sorrow, Kunti shared her secret. She revealed the mantra to Madri, but warned, "Use it with care. Call upon the gods with respect, for destiny listens." Madri, with devotion, spoke the mantra, and who answered but the Ashvin twins, gods of medicine, healing, and radiant beauty. From them were born 2 sons, Nakula and Sahadeva. Nakula, the elder, shone with unmatched beauty, his face radiant like the sun. He would be famed as the most handsome of men, skilled with horses and sword. Sahadeva, the younger, carried the calm of the earth, wise beyond years, able to read omens and stars, a master of hidden knowledge. The Ashvins had given not 1 child, but 2, completing the 5 brothers who would shake the world. The Pandavas were born. Pandu's joy, Pandu rejoiced. His heart, once heavy with despair, was now filled with pride. He watched his 5 sons grow in the hermitage, running through the forests, wrestling in the streams, learning from sages, playing in the shade of the mountains. Yudhishthira.com and steady, Bhima roaring with strength, Arjuna sharp and focused, Nakula and Sahadeva radiant and wise. Together they were 5 stars, shining in exile, waiting for the night of destiny. But shadows never stay far, for Pandu was still cursed. The death of Pandu and Madri one day, in a moment of passion, Pandu forgot himself. His love for Madri overcame his fear. He reached for her, and as the sage had cursed, his life ended in her arms. The pale king fell lifeless in the forest. Madri, struck with grief and guilt, refused to live on. She mounted his funeral pyre, joining him in death. The cries of the young Pandavas echoed in the mountains. Their father and mother gone, their childhood ended in fire and ash. Kunti alone took them into her arms. She would raise them as her own, carrying them back to Hastinapura, where their destiny awaited. And so, the 5 Pandavas entered the world, sons of gods, yet orphans of man. Their childhood in the forest had ended. Ahead lay the halls of Hastinapura, where cousins, teachers, and rivals awaited, and with them, the seeds of jealousy, envy, and war. In the next part, we will turn to Hastinapura itself, and to the birth of the 100 Kauravas. For no story of the Pandavas can be told without their cousins, and their enemies,